Hi everybody and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Iris and I'm an incoming freshman at Stanford University studying computer science and economics. So it's been a hot moment since our last video, which was on the best extracurricular activities to pursue at home during COVID-19. And as I made in my hypothesis at the beginning of the video, information-packed advice for college is doing and driving the most growth for this channel right now and fulfilling a lot of your guys' demand. But don't worry, for all of you guys still wanting me to do the money video and other productivity videos, those are going to be coming. It's just that I think I'm going to switch up my schedule a little bit. So we're all learning together right now. As you guys might have seen a couple weeks ago on the community tab, I posted a schedule of all the videos I was going to upload this week. And now I basically scratched all of those video ideas and pushed them off to later because I learned so many things along the way and realized that the strategy I thought would be the best for this channel a week before is not actually going to be the best for this channel now. So I guess we're all learning, and that's the beauty of learning to adapt to the world as it is. You guys are literally my customers. Like, in order to do well, I think in any industry, you have to listen to your customers and their needs and demands. So this is my way of doing that. So as always, please let me know what video ideas or what you want to see in the comment section below. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, or dislike it if you didn't. That gives me a better sense of what people are enjoying and what they aren't enjoying. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about today's video topic, which is how to identify your spike or application theme. So obviously this video is geared toward you guys, my audience, probably people applying to college, but I also wrote the script thinking about my junior year self. So I applied to college as a junior with absolutely no spike. I had so many different extracurriculars that were all over the place, and after I got rejected from every single school, I realized that I needed to change my strategy. And a big thing I heard was having a spike. I was so frustrated because I had no idea what my spike was. I was like, oh my god, I'm a jack of all trades, I don't have a spike, therefore I'm not going to get in anywhere. And I saw so many comments you guys were having, which I think was just very similar to the sentiment I had junior year of high school. And it was like, oh my god, it's so late in the game, I don't have enough time to build up my international recognition in X activity. But then I did some more talking with friends and spent hours researching like how you can get a spike and just watching all these YouTube videos, and I finally figured something out. So this is a video that just addresses all the talk on the internet about how you need to have a spike. So this video is going to fill in the gap and actually teach you guys how, step by step, you can find yourself a spike even if you don't have international recognitions in anything, and that you feel like you have activities in this area and that area and you have just like 5 different interests. It is possible. So let's get into it. So first off, I think it's really important to preface this whole thing with the purpose of a spike. Why do you need one? So number one, admissions officers are human beings, and human beings love listening to stories more than they like listening to a dry list of facts. So by giving yourself a cohesive narrative, you're helping admissions officers gain a better understanding of you, and they will remember you better if you have a spike, because we're good at remembering one thing about one person. Like, you might think of Elon Musk as the Tesla guy or like the tech dude, and you might remember Trump as the president, even though he's also like a real estate person and he's probably done so many other things as well. But we just kind of characterize one person as one thing because it's easier for us to remember. So obviously you're a multi-dimensional person, but when it comes to something like a college application where the other side only has like 15 minutes to get to know you, you better make that elevator pitch as fast as possible and as concise as possible about what makes you unique. So this is what your spike comes down to. Now let's talk about what a spike is and the different types of spikes. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to break it down to hard spikes and soft spikes. So a hard spike is where an applicant excels at something tangible. So this can be you are a world-class mathematician, you are great at computer science, or you're like writing and you're really great and you publish like 3 books through like Simon & Schuster and you have like New York Times articles under your name. I don't know, just crazy things. This could also be something like the intersection of writing and technology. So say you're like a tech reporter for the Wall Street Journal, that could be your spike. So a hard spike requires that you have amazing accomplishments in a tangible field or subject area. And the problem with having a hard spike though is that the more popular the area is, the harder it is to actually have a spike in that area because of so much competition. Essentially, having a hard spike is quite difficult because it means that you need to be the best person or one of the best people in the world at what you do. Obviously, something like tech reporting is going to be less popular, and therefore you have a better shot at having that as your spike and being one of the best people in the world. What I'm trying to say with the tech reporter thing is that you do kind of have to keep in mind that the less competitive of a field you choose to pursue, the more likely you are to actually be one of the top in the world at that thing. So hard spikes are pretty difficult to, I guess, achieve, and it's really great if you can get there. But for all of you guys who don't feel like you have a hard spike, you can find yourself a soft spike. So what are soft spikes? So I think of soft spikes more like art. It's like a literary theme that you can construct. Finding a soft spike is like analyzing literature, where the literature is your list of extracurricular activities. Let me explain. So you want to analyze a book's chapters for its themes, which is analogous to analyzing your activities to your theme. Oh my god, this is so bad right now. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Oh my god. First, let's start with why soft spikes are so valuable. One, you can have your own way of going about it, and you can be one of the only people in the world who has the same soft spike as you do. Because as you remember, it's like art. Art is difficult to replicate. It's like your unique DNA. And secondly, soft spikes still achieve the same goals as hard spikes. So remember, we were discussing what the purpose of a spike is, and that's to paint a cohesive picture or narrative about who you are. So soft spikes still help you achieve that. You want to analyze your activities as if they're chapters of a cohesive book. What is the common denominator behind all these different chapters or activities? Don't look at your activities just at its face value. Really dig behind your motivations behind them, the accomplishments you've had, the people you've helped, and see if there's a common denominator that is shared between all of your activities. To illustrate this point a little bit more, I'll give a personal example to start. So for me, I had so many different activities. I was doing music, I was interested in economics, I was interested in bridging the gender gap, I was interested in different cultures, I was doing a language study abroad to learn Mandarin. So I had all these different things going on that seemed kind of irrelevant, and I started to think about the common purpose behind all of my activities. So I realized that something that was similar between all of them was that I was bringing people of different backgrounds together, and I was bridging divides. So for example, with music, you can think of it as a universal language that bridges people of all backgrounds and helps unify them because of this universal language. For studying abroad and learning different languages and understanding different cultures, that's kind of the same vibe, but with cultures. And then for economics, I was kind of focused on the gender gap issue within the field, and I was writing a book that had like this purpose of empowering girls to become interested in economics. So in that sense, I was bridging the divide and this gender gap. I was like closing the gap. So then my whole entire theme for my application was just bridging divides and closing gaps and helping people understand one another better to build inclusivity and collaboration. So that took me a really long time to actually come down to and understand about myself. So I'm gonna give you guys an actionable to-do list of how you can come to your own soft spike. Number one, you want to identify whether you have a hard or a soft spike. The question you want to ask yourself here is, do I have an accomplishment at an international level or many accomplishments at an international level for one particular subject area? If the answer is no, you're going to have a soft spike. If the answer is yes, the hard spike is there. And if you're a hard spiker, it's pretty easy. Just look at what your awards are in. Say it's in math, then your hard spike is going to be math. So that's like period, you're done. For all the soft spikers out there, you're going to have to do some more brainstorming, but this is going to be a little exercise that you guys can walk through to help yourself identify your soft spike. You want to start by writing out all the activities that you've ever done through high school. Do this on a piece of paper or on a Google Doc, anything. Just list all of it out, just dump it out. Doesn't matter. You can have like 30 activities out there, just dump it out. Once you have all the activities listed out, you want to list all of your accomplishments, motivations, most memorable moments, people you've helped, etc., stuff like that next to each activity. To do that for every single activity that you listed out. And then the third step is going to be to pick the 15 most impressive activities. So remember, you listed all of your accomplishments for all of your activities. Now just look at the accomplishment column and see which 15 of them are the most impressive. And that's going to be the 15 activities you have narrowed down to right now. All right, once you've done that, the fourth step is going to be to identify what the common denominators between those 15 activities are. So how have you helped a certain community, or how have you solved a certain global issue? Examples of a common denominator could be like helping undocumented immigrants through language and social work. So this is like you're helping a certain community through a very specific way. Or it could be like helping special ed kids with technology, or it could be something like solving a specific global issue. For example, bridging divides to create more global understanding and inclusivity. That was my theme technically. Or you could do something like to solve the global water crisis. Just the common denominator is kind of like the motivating factor or the accomplishments that you have that's like helping a certain community or solving a global issue or something else. But this is just something that all of those 15 activities share. But don't worry, if not all 15 activities share that common denominator, which is very likely probably, that's when you move on to the next step. So this is going to be step 5. You want to cross out 5 activities that most strikingly do not fit into this common denominator. Cross out things that are totally irrelevant, and you'll have 10 activities left. Not all 10 of those activities these might actually fit into the common denominator either. But remember, just cross out the 5 that most don't fit. I don't even know if you can say that, just that don't fit the most. And then you'll have 10 left. I hope that made sense. And those 10 activities that are left are going to be the ones that you're going to present in your application through the activities list and as well as the essay section. Now, a lot of you guys at this point might be worried like, oh my gosh, I don't have 10 activities that share this common denominator. What can I do? So now let's talk about how you can actually build up your spike, especially if you're an underclassman and you still have time. So for underclassmen, you might not have that many activities that fit into your spike. This means that you can do a preliminary spike / theme exercise as we've just done, and then you can build on top of the theme that you've determined for yourself by pursuing activities relevant to your theme or spike. And also keep in mind here that we're using theme and spike and common denominator interchangeably in this video, so all of them basically mean the same thing. Now, for upperclassmen getting ready to apply to college already and you don't have that much time left, I would recommend that you just try to internalize the theme that you did create for yourself. Maybe you can go even one step higher level. So remember, we had something like helping special ed kids with technology. That's already very specific. So maybe one step higher would be like using innovation to help others, right? That's more broad, and maybe more of your activities would fit under that broader theme. So for upperclassmen who just realize that you don't have that many activities that are similar to one another, I just really recommend you go one step higher and generalize your theme a little bit more. Now, the important thing after you've identified your theme is to actually communicate that through your application. Otherwise, you're just doing all the hard work for yourself and no one actually is going to understand what is the cohesive narrative that ties your application into a pretty little package. The best way to communicate something is to explicitly state it. State it as if it's so obvious so that no one can miss it. What this means is that you want to explicitly state, I'm doing all of these activities for this common purpose or for my theme. Literally state this in your essays, like I'm interested in this, did that, and did this because your theme, right? Really explicitly state that so admissions officers cannot miss it. Remember, they only have 15 minutes or even less to read through your application, and they're not gonna try to like think of, oh, what is bringing this person together, right? It's gonna be really hard for them to work this out. If you spent like at least 2-3 hours trying to figure out your theme, or even more, like I spent definitely like maybe like a whole year working up my theme to really figure out what I'm all about. If that takes you like a year of work and just constant thinking, admissions officers aren't going to realize that in 15 minutes. So make it really, really obvious for them. Solve the problem and just state the answer in your application, and it's gonna help them remember you better. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. Just explain how all of your activities relate to each other under one common goal in your application, and that common goal is gonna be your spike or theme. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys are still confused about anything, which I totally get, you can still be kind of confused, but remember that any template or worksheet out there, you know, you don't have to follow it exactly. You just kind of have to understand what the purpose of building a spike is and how you can actually go about building a spike, and then do it in your own way that works best for you. So I hope this video was kind of helpful in clarifying something that I think is very confusing and stressful for a lot of people. Just remember, you got this. You can do anything you set your mind to. As my laptop wallpaper says, she believed she could, so she did. And this is applicable to everybody. He, she, they. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. So you got this. I'm cheering for you guys. Leave any questions in the comment section below and I reply to all of them. As always, give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already for more college related and productivity videos coming at you every single week. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.